Welcome back. Let's continue our tour of the strategic locations for some of our new signage. Another very important location is exit 81. Many people get off at this exit for food, and this is one of our great opportunities to direct people through our town. Now let's move back to our next location of Roosevelt and Lobo Canyon. This is a critical area here because people will either want to go up to Mount Taylor, but most people will be looking for the county complex, the hospital, doctor's offices in this area. So this is a very important corner right here. Then we move to the corner of Roosevelt and Sacaleras. This is a way for people to either move up to Mount Taylor or go to the golf course or head back to Route 66. Next is Sacaleras and George Hannish Boulevard. This is the road that goes up to the golf course. So visitors need to know that this is where they turn to get to the golf course. At the corner of Sacaleras and Route 66, there should be a sign here that directs people to the golf course and also directs people to our local prisons. There's a lot of business that's done in our local prisons, so officials that are doing business with our local prisons need to know that this is the corner where they turn. So now let's return to our guests. Our next guest is Manuel Vasquez. He's the president of Grant's Mainstreet project.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. So we were looking at some of the new signs that we're going to be installing. How are we going to get these signs made?
Well, we formed a partnership with NMSU with Richard Gutierrez there at the college, and he's going to help us out on the signage.
He's the welding department?
He is the welding department there, Mike.
Okay. So. All right. So students that are learning the trade up there will be making these signs for us.
Yes, and at this time they're going to be making all the signs there, Mike, and they're going to be credited at the same time. So that's a partnership that we need to really work together with. Wow,
that's awesome, and I think it's a really good idea partnering the city and Mainstreet's involved too. So the city and Mainstreet and the college working together on projects that are good for our town. So besides signage, we'd like to sort of update the look of our buildings as well, right?
Well, we've come up with a new kind of way of lighting our streets and our buildings, and it's called neon rope lighting. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I've seen different names for it, but neon rope is one of them. Yeah, neon flex, neon rope. Yeah.
So there's different names on it, but I know that if we can get some of that neon rope, we could really beautify our town and our buildings, do the Main Street building, the Chamber of Commerce, even the Fire and Ice with it.
This is really cool stuff. Let's take a look at this video here, and it'll kind of show us what this stuff is made of, so people understand what we're talking about. One of the things I like about this material is it's so easy to work with. The city can actually install and maintain this product ourselves. What you do is you cut this material with a razor blade. You have these connectors that connect to a plug system that you just plug in. It's 24 volt or 120 volt. You install these waterproof jackets over it and shrink wrap the jacket, and it seals this product and makes it waterproof so it can be out in the weather. All you do is plug it in. It's flexible. It's amazing how tough this stuff is. Look what they're doing to it. You can beat it with a hammer. It can take snow and water. Run over it with a car. It's amazing how tough this stuff is. Comes in 150-foot rolls.
Can you imagine us working with the city and getting some of these buildings lit up and at night during the summer?
I know.
What they would look like?
Oh, I think that this is a really cool direction that you guys are going. And I know you've been working on a special big project, and why don't you tell us a little bit about that? This is awesome. So what are we doing here? What do we have here?
Well, our idea is to maybe make a big sign over the 911 street where you can actually drive a car under it. And we can light that up with LED lights that you're talking about, the rope.
Right.
And that would give a chance for the people that are coming in, put their car in there and take pictures of it where it says, Grants, New Mexico, historic Route 66. How awesome would that be?
Oh, I know. I think this is a great image, and I can just see, I mean, we're so selfie crazy in this country right now that people will really like this. I think they'll park their vehicle there, they'll get out.
I think that would be awesome. Can you imagine people saying, we're going to Grants, New Mexico, and it'll be a destination instead of just a drive-through?
Right.
And they'll say, well, we're going to go take a picture under the sign where historic Route 66 is.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
And I think when they stop at night to take a picture, because that's when the sign's going to look the best.
Right.
And they're more likely to stay in one of our motels because it's already dark, it's nighttime. We're likely to get people stopping and spending the night. The thing I really like about this is it has Grants, New Mexico on the sign. Every time somebody posts this on Facebook or on Twitter, these other places where they post, it's going to say Grants, New Mexico. And I think this is just going to go viral, I really do.
So now we have people coming in from around the country, and the first thing they're going to think, hey, I remember seeing that on Facebook, or
Yeah.
let's go stop there and get our picture there. At that time, we've already drew them into our district,
Right.
and hopefully they can see more things and say, hey, I cruised down to Grants, New Mexico, took a picture of this, and it's off of Route 66.
Well, our goal here is to create jobs, create economic activity downtown, and I think this is a good way to do it, Manny. I really appreciate all the work that you guys are doing with Mainstreet and the Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development. I think you've got a great team going, and we're looking forward to all the nice changes that we're seeing here. And so thanks again for coming, and we'll see you next time. Our next guest is Tessa Jimenez. She's the director of the Chamber of Commerce here in Grants, and so welcome, Tessa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Seems like our new leadership here in the Chamber is leaning more toward the digital age. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think with it's been a while that change and new approaches to things has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And with the change of administration with all of the entities, I think I don't want to say younger or different, it's just a different generation of what we're motivated by.
Mm-hmm. Aren't you guys working on an app at the Chamber?
We are, and pretty soon we're getting all of the backbones and everything working on that, and we're gonna actually have we want to have a contest to name the app.
Oh,
That way we can get the community involved and engaged in what we're doing.
right. So just by default, we get, let's say, 800 people a night that spend the night here at our motels. So communicating with those people while they're here, stopped in our town and looking for something to do is really critical, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
It is, and I mean, most people, it's a stop one way, but they're coming back.
Yeah.
So give them a reason to come back and stop here again.
You guys are involved in a caboose restoration project, correct?
Right. Yeah, I guess it's been a while, maybe 4 or 5 years that BNSF had donated a caboose, and it's sitting on the side rail right now. And we recently got the rails and the ties moved to a location. And the next step in that phase would be to fence the location and restore the outside of the caboose.
Right.
Put new windows, maybe solder the doors shut so nobody can get in or out.
Yeah.
And then paint the outside and
Right.
make it more of a stop, of a photo op. And then eventually possibly apply for another grant to restaurate the inside
Yeah, right.
and open it up for special events like, 4th of July and the
Right.
bike rally and the Easter egg hunt. And the overall purpose is to bring more dollars into our businesses.
Create jobs,
Yeah.
bring more money down here. We talk about infrastructure. Well, obviously infrastructure costs money. And we have this chicken and egg problem here. What do you do first? Do you get people in here to generate gross receipts tax, or do you improve the infrastructure so people will come?
Right.
And, I think it sounds like the Chamber's point of view is that we need to get people in here first that generate the gross receipts tax, so we'll have more money to do more infrastructure.
Right.
So,
Exactly, and if
yeah.
people don't have the money to let's say, fix up their building.
Yeah,
That's because they don't have the revenue coming in to do that.
yeah,
So if we can bring them in more revenue, then, they're more willing to use that extra income to make renovations,
Yeah.
to open longer, to be able to hire more people, because now they have a need for it.
That's
If
right.
if there's no demand for that, how do you expect people to want to do that?
that's right. The groups that we have working together in the steering committee are doing a great job, and we really appreciate what you guys are doing, and I want to thank you for coming by, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having
My
me.
next guest is Eileen Yarborough. She's the Executive Director of the Economic Development Program here in Grants in Cibola County. One of the reasons I wanted you here for this was the county just paid for a comprehensive development plan for 2015.
Right.
And what was that plan all about?
The basis of the plan, it's called a comprehensive development plan, and what it does is it sets a foundational framework for the county to work from. And this is a direct quote, "It is their position that tourism holds the greatest potential for investment and growth in Cibola County. We, the Economic Development Organization, believe that that is true. Tourism is the low-hanging fruit." And when I say that, I mean that people come here, they spend their money. We don't necessarily have to provide services to them such as fire, police, roads, and that kind of thing. The money that they spend here does contribute to gross receipts tax, which in turn does give us the ability to provide those kinds of services to our citizens that live here.
I'll tell you, Eileen, we really appreciate what the county's doing, and hopefully we'll see some positive changes here in the next year, I think we will, based on the work that we're doing. Well, I'm going to ask Eileen from Economic Development to join us again so we can drill deeper into this economic development in our community. But right now, we're out of time, so thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.